somebody pray. I want to hear somebody sing. I want to hear somebody sing. Down in the valley and over yonder, I want to hear somebody sing. I want to hear somebody sing. I want to hear somebody sing. Down in the valley and over yonder, I want to hear somebody sing. I want to hear somebody pray. I want to hear somebody pray. Down in the valley and over yonder, I want to hear somebody pray.
Shabbat Shalom and welcome to the confirmation service celebrating the class of 5782. As you may know, this class has been through Delta and Omicron and everything in between. Throughout it all, we spent the last 7 months furthering our Jewish education and discovering the meaning of our Judaism, both individually and communally.
Together, we've explored the diverse perspectives on God's role in our lives. We've discussed historical perspectives on God and related it back to our modern-day beliefs. Some of us believe that God is a guide for our moral choices. Some believe in a God that's compassionate, loving, and merciful. And some of us believe in a God that is removed from our daily events, or that the world is governed by human decisions and choices that the universe and us make, and that the universe is a result of random chance. The saying goes, 2 Jews and 3 opinions. That's true for our confirmation class as well. Whether we believe in God as the cosmos or we don't believe in God at all, we come to respect and recognize each other's ideas and opinions.
Through confirmation, our class also learned to see meaning in everyday Judaic activities. Through song sessions, wearing a Star of David, singing Hanukkah songs, baking challah, or dressing up for Purim, our celebrations, traditions, and rituals connect us to each other, our collective past, and the potential of the future. The choice to be Jewish is ours, and today we are confirming a commitment to each other, to our Jewish community, and to our collective future.
And today is also an opportunity to celebrate Shabbat. We make this commitment on the most important holiday in Jewish tradition, the holiday of Shabbat. It comes every week, and it's a welcome day of rest, particularly in the hectic pace of life. We take time to reflect on the week that has passed. We consider the blessings in our lives. We think about the kind of people we want to be. We want to encourage you to put your phone on Shabbat mode, which looks like an airplane symbol. Let yourself be right here. So buckle up because this service is going to be on fire, but not literally. Please join us as we light the Shabbat candles and bless the wine, or grape juice, with Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlig ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzah v'shabbat kocho be'ahava uvratzon hinhilanu Zikaron lema'aseh bereshit Kihu yom tehila lemikra'e kodesh Zecher litziat Mitzrayim Kivanu vaharta Beotanu kidashta Mikol hamim Shabbat kochecha ve'ahava uvratzon hinhaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen.
L'chaim.
Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat abide. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time, contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world on this day. On this day, Shabbat abide.
Please rise for the Baruch Hu.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'avta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvkol nafshecha uvkol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anohi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam livanecha, vidibarta bam, bishivtecha bevetecha, uleftecha vaderek, uvshokbecha uvkumeha, ukshaktam leot oyadecha, vihayu tutavot ben einecha, uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem ekol mitzvotai hitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzei tziahem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lahem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
As you may have realized, our class, as well as the confirmation classes of the last 2 years, has been deeply affected by world events. Beyond the pandemic, we are seeing world of unrest with economic and financial challenges for so many people. There have been times when the world has felt narrow and constricted.
In truth, everyone experiences hardships and trials. Everyone has times when they feel like they have huge challenges ahead. In our Jewish tradition, the story of Exodus happened thousands of years ago. Perhaps we each have a sea to cross, a desert to walk through, or a hill to climb. When we sing the words of Micha Mocha, they remind us that community, friendships, family help us journey through the hardships in life.
Our tradition tells us that our ancient ancestors brought what they valued most when they moved towards freedom. We encourage you to think about a time in your life when you felt like you were crossing a sea. What helped you through the challenge, and what do you value most? Who stood by you in your time of need? Like Moses, Miriam, and all of Israel, let's sing together and rejoice.
Adonai,
When I was younger, my mom used to sing the Hashki Venu to me before bed. The words of the song helped me to feel safe, comfortable, and loved. The Hashki Venu is a lullaby that we sing at night, helping us to find a sense of calm and peace when it is most dark outside.
Sometimes falling asleep can be hard. There's a lot happening that could keep us up at night. Sure, there is the pandemic and war. There are responsibilities, expectations, college admissions, and adulthood. We may be worried for our loved ones, our friends, and families. Perhaps we are kept up at night because of the pressures that we put onto ourselves.
Sarah, that's quite a list. Maybe we should take a moment to just breathe a little. I want to invite everyone to try to sit back in your chairs and place your feet on the ground. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Close your eyes and continue to breathe. May the words of the Hashki Venu remind us to have hope, that God is with us when it gets darkest, both figuratively and literally. May each of us be loved for who we are.
My favorite thing about Shabbat is challah.
Wait, my favorite thing is challah too.
I'm with you, Max and Brendan. My favorite thing about Shabbat is my mom's challah French toast.
I'm sure your mom's French toast is good, but my mom's French toast, it's way better.
Not possible. My mom's challah French toast is the best.
So we agree. Friday nights are better with challah, and Saturday mornings are made even better with challah French toast.
The Vishamri prayer that we're about to sing has absolutely nothing to do with the challah French toast, and has everything to do with challah French toast. The prayer encourages us to keep Shabbat alive through the ages as covenant for all time.
When our people first celebrated Shabbat thousands of years ago, they couldn't imagine that their descendants, all of us, would be here celebrating Shabbat. They couldn't imagine that a worldwide Jewish community celebrates Shabbat in Israel and Australia, across Europe and the Americas. Together, we keep the idea of Shabbat alive.
Shabbat also keeps us together as a people. When we celebrate Shabbat, we remember where we came from. We honor the people who came before us. We acknowledge the hardships they faced as Jews, and we make a commitment to make Shabbat alive, unique, wonderful, fun, joyous, and tasty too. So whether it's the challah French toast or the warmth of family, we celebrate the joy of Shabbat.
Shabbat
Adonai, sefatai tifta, ufia gite hilateha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rahel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zoker Hastei Avot v'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei v'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo v'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham v'Ezrat Sarah.
Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atarav le'oshia, morid hatah, Mechakel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech nofelim berofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit, Umechaye, Umatzmiat Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol.
Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalelu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
There is so much noise in the world. On Shabbat, we spend 25 hours giving ourselves the gift of silence, and not just the airplane symbol that Rosie mentioned earlier. Taking time for silence can be hard because there are so many text messages, notifications, sounds, and interruptions.
So, we want to invite you to sit back in your chair in a way that is comfortable to you. We invite you to be as silent as possible. Close your eyes, breathe slowly, relax, and get comfortable.
As you notice the silence, think of Shabbat. The silence is yours, to fill with our thoughts, to reflect on your week of your life, to just sit with yourself, to refresh your soul, and to renew. So let's sit in silence together in this space. We continue with the thoughts and prayers of our own hearts.
May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom.
In the last few years, we've experienced pain, illness, and fear. While our world is starting to reopen, we are beginning to see the long-term effects of what the last 2 years have brought. People who are grieving, people who are struggling with mental health challenges, people who are tired and exhausted, and people who are angry with how difficult life has been.
The Misha Berhach talks about healing the sick and wounded, as well as asking God to give them strength, mercy, and blessings. It could be the healing of a relationship, the heart, the mind, the soul. Recently, I broke my arm. The journey of healing process was very long. I found comfort in attending Shabbat services on Friday night and realizing that I was included in the prayers of healing.
We had a friend recently who struggled emotionally after the death of a pet. One night, as we attended Shabbat services here at Temple, I reminded him that the prayer for healing was for him too, and that things would get better soon. As we pray these words, we invite you to think of friends, family, and even people you don't know who need physical and spiritual healing. May our healing prayers on this day also encourage us to reach out to those in need. With a phone call, a meal, hug, or get well card, the people who are in need also need us to do more than just pray, to extend our love to them.
Shabbat Shalom. it's pretty clear that as a confirmation class, and in the time in which we are living, you have experienced the world in ways that are very different than when I was in confirmation class in 19-something. And the world, and you've all made clear in the reflections that you've had about the world in which you're living. Whether it was prayers for healing, or as we began, Lily, I think with the recognition of Delta and Omicron that this class itself has just lived through, right? You've lived through quite a lot. So I want to invite, we're going to put a next slide on the screen. And, previous slide, thank you. And you might see a few things, and whether or not you can understand them, we'll sort of go through it, but it is true. The world in which we occupy today, the world in which we live today, is profoundly complicated. And whether it is the COVID virus that we've all experienced the last 2 years, or the war that's happening in Ukraine, or an information technology that is moving at paces that are extraordinarily fast, or perhaps climate change and a world that seems like it is on fire. And it is true. I will readily admit that in many ways it feels like we are either breaking or have broken things that will be unfixable. It can feel like that. That is true. Hold that for one moment. It is also true that this is Rabbi Klass's last confirmation service as a rabbi at Temple Bethel. She did not know that I was about to say this. She thought her weekend was next weekend. That's true. You can all come back to celebrate Rabbi Klass next weekend. But I want to, as your rabbi, teach you some lessons that I think that Rabbi Klass embraces and teaches all of us about how to confront a world like this. Is that okay? All right. So the first thing, one, is that we might see this world, but next slide, but actually the world is really beautiful too. It's incredibly beautiful, and there is great power in the ability of normal people to step up and to fix and to think through how we are going to live in this world. Now, in Jewish tradition, during this time of season of the year that we're in, this counting of the Omer, it is traditional to read texts from Pirkei Avot, the ethics of our ancestors. And one of the texts that we read is, next slide, is Im ein ani li mili, right? It is, if I am not for myself, who will be for me? And the first lesson that Rabbi Klass, I think, teaches us is embrace yourself. Embrace yourself. Each of you are beautiful. You have, as your clergy have seen, incredible gifts. You don't have to look for hope necessarily far away. If you want, you can just look in the mirror. Because we see it. And if there's one thing that I know that Rabbi Klass teaches us as her students, it's to embrace the gifts that each of us have. To embrace who we are. To be comfortable with who we are. Even if we're a little broken too. It's okay. Right? And what our Jewish tradition says is that if you are not for yourself, There's no one else who's going to be there for you. You've got to not only embrace yourself, but you have to stand up for yourself. You have to be yourself. You are a gift to this world, and it is something that we know and all of your parents know. Next slide. Rabbi Class teaches, I believe, that when we grow into ourselves, we will change the world. It's going to take time. Your 16-year-old selves or 15-year-old selves are not going to be your 30-year-old selves, right? Hopefully. Please. On behalf of all of us, please, right? But embrace who you are and the growth that you have, because it's awesome. All right, next slide. And the ethics of our ancestors also say, Uksha'ani la'atzmi ma'ani, if I am only for myself, what kind of person am I? If we are only focused on what our own needs are, what kind of person am I going to be in the world? And what Rabbi Class has always taught us in her years of the rabbinate here, in teaching confirmation class, after confirmation class, is to embrace others. To find the jewel that's inside of you, but then to look at other people around us and to embrace them. Right? To embrace others, because, next slide, and I just realized that there's it's not a spelling mistake, it's a missing letter. But it says, but William Ward teaches, when we seek, not just see, but when we seek to discover the best in others, we bring out the best in ourselves too. There are a lot of people with great gifts. And it's not just about seeing and embracing yourselves, it's also about seeing the godliness, the uniqueness, the gifts of other people who are around you, who are sitting next to you here or in class or on the bus or wherever you might be. To see the beauty in other people. And as you do, when you're able to see others for who they are and the gifts that they have, somehow you bring out the best in yourself too. All right, next lesson. The imloach shav ematai, and if not now, when? Helen Keller, who could easily have complained about a lot of things in her life. She said, although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of the overcoming of it. Your class, for sure, is experiencing a world that is difficult. But for thousands of years in Jewish tradition that you have embraced for yourselves has also taught us that there is a bright tomorrow. There is hope. And the way that we make that hope appear in the world is by embracing the very best in ourselves, by seeing the goodness in others, and lifting it up to fix the world. You are amazing. And we as your clergy, thank you for the gifts that you bring our community, for the way that you show up for each other, for the vision that you have for a better, more holistic, fairer, kinder, healthier world. And we have faith, all of us, that you're going to help make it happen. So thank you, Rabbi Class. Thank you, thousands of years of Jewish tradition. And and thank you to each one of you. Our clergy are going to bless you. And we're going to invite everyone just to stay seated. And we're going to bless you with a threefold benediction, which is at the center of the Torah. I'll invite my clergy colleagues up. This is a blessing. This is a blessing that is the oldest in our Jewish tradition. It's a blessing that the priests would give to the people, that our parents give to us. And so, when your children or young people, I shouldn't say children, I know, shouldn't have said that. Came out. Young people, when they're being blessed by the clergy up here, we invite you to rise in your seats, to stand with them as they receive their blessing. And so stay seated until your kiddo is up here receiving their blessing, and then please stand along with them as well.
Apparently, we have to count the Omer now. The older I get, the more I cry at these things, you know? Anyhow, so here we are between Pesach and Shavuot. We are counting up towards a great, great moment in our annual celebration of Jewish life, counting up towards that Sinai moment when each and every one of us grown-ups actually reaffirm who we are as Jews, accepting the idea of the revelation of Torah into our lives each year and over again. And confirmation historically is tied to the holiday of Shavuot. We do confirmation a little earlier around here, but in a sense, Shavuot is that sort of annual confirmation for every single one of us. So we're counting up toward Shavuot during this period of the Omer. Here we go, first with the blessing. Here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer hayom shmona ve'esrim yom shehem arba'a shavuot la'omer. Today is 28 days, which are 4 weeks of the Omer.
Please rise for Aleinu on page 586.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol l'te'ila l'ser bereshit shelo asanu kigoyei aratzot velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama shelo sam chelkenu kahem v'gomor aleinu kehohana v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamachim hakadosh baruch Emar b'hayam Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
Please be seated. It is my pleasure and my honor to invite forward the Millers to present an award this evening. So, Dr. Miller and Joy Miller, if you'll come forward, thank you.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Congratulations, confirmands, Mazel Tov. You have worked hard and have reached this milestone in your Jewish lives. The fact that you are sitting here tonight is confirmation that you have all made a commitment to further your Jewish education. As a matter of fact, as one of you said earlier, tonight you've confirmed that you've made a commitment to one another. Commitment is a quality of being dedicated to a cause, an endeavor, or a goal. You are all about to complete your high school education, and you may now be in the process of making plans to pursue a college education, learn a trade, or to volunteer to serve your country or your community. In order to be successful, you will need to make a commitment to that endeavor.
Our daughter, Michelle, was involved in the Hebrew High School Confirmation Program of 2001 and 2002. Tragically, 20 years ago, an automobile accident took her life. Michelle was also active in B'nai B'rith Girls. Both programs were very important to her, and she had many close friends, both here at the temple and in BBYO. At public school and her competitive dance studio, she had many friends of all faiths and nationalities. Michelle was very comfortable with her Judaism, and she took every opportunity to educate her non-Jewish, her non-Jewish friends about her religion, and in doing so, she dispelled a lot of misconceptions non-Jews have about Jews. She was respected by her peers and by their parents. Michelle was committed to the Jewish community.
Michelle was killed in an automobile accident in which she was a passenger in the back seat of a car driven by another friend. As a result, she never made it to her confirmation in Temple Bethel. That year, the confirmands dedicated their confirmation service to her. Following that, in order to honor her memory, we created the Michelle Miller Award for Jewish Commitment, knowing how deeply she felt about her Jewish friends and her Jewish community. To be committed to Judaism means you have chosen to make Judaism an important part of your life or to become involved in the Jewish community.
Every year, this award is given to a student or students from the confirmation class who the rabbis, the cantor, and the educational staff feel demonstrate dedication to Jewish studies and commitment to Judaism. These individuals likewise are admired and respected by their peers. This year, there are 2 recipients of the award. The first recipient loves to teach younger children, and she serves as both a B'nai Mitzvah tutor and madrika in our religious school. She works with 3rd graders on Sunday mornings and on Wednesday afternoons. She helps students who need extra help with their Hebrew skills. She attends events at 3 different Jewish youth groups in Charlotte, and like was our Michelle, is particularly active in BBYO. This year, she was chosen to participate in BBYO's Lebanon Global Leadership Academy, and she presented a TED Talk at BBYO's International Convention.
The second recipient is also a B'nai Mitzvah tutor and a madrika in our religious school. She has worked hard to improve her music skills with the guitar and leads services on Sunday mornings for the whole religious school. She serves on the Liberty Board as the Communications Vice President. Despite the challenges presented by the pandemic, she remained positive and was a source of support to the board members. Therefore, it is our honor and our privilege to present the Michelle Miller Award for Jewish Commitment to Emily Schenkel and Mia Lederer.
Congratulations. Keep up the good work. We're so proud of you. So proud of both of you. Thank you. Okay.
When I first arrived here, one of my early meetings was with the Millers, and I learned a little bit about Michelle myself. And among the things that I learned was that Michelle's confirmation year was my confirmation year. So we are, or would be, the same age. And there's something about connecting those dots that makes a whole lot of things matter more. And it's the same reason that we offer names out loud each week of those people who have died at this time and in years past. There's something so important about remembering the people who have mattered, who have shaped us, who have helped us become who we are. As I offer the name of your loved one, I invite you to rise. Our congregation mourns the passing of Michael Prosha. Funeral will be next weekend. More information will be coming out soon via email. We're in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning for Stephen Bloom, Denise Cooper, Rhoda Goldberg, and Larry Linker. And we remember on their yard site Hans Anker, Rose Yasikas Arangas, Robert J. Bachneck, Samuel Bolno, David Bruckner, Evelyn Chesler, Joseph Clayman, Herbert Constangi, Nora Conway, Gustav Dubbs, Jack Dutton, Rosalie Edwards, James Jimmy F. Ellenbogen, Eleanor Emery, Robert M. Epstein, Robert Azarski, Rita Marcus Faberman, Marion Fink Feinstein, Hyman Fenster, Selma Firestone, Jake Fishman, Selma Schwartz Fox, Walter Frank, Bennett Frankel, Alan Freiberg, Louis Garson, Siegfried Gold, Jane Betty Greer, Manuel Groskopf, Frank Harbison, Arthur L. Hauser, Felix Heyman, Donald Herman, Florence Hollins, William Hyman, Shirley Jacobson, Sarah Jacobson, Isaac Yasikas, Adolph Clipper, Mildred Krasner, Stephen Edward Kreidel, Doris Lasher, Norman Lederer, Larry Lefkoff, Joni Lemon, Joseph Layton, Arnold Levinson, Renata Moss, Nathan Medalia, Arthur Paul Matos Sr., Burt McLeod, Ron Myers, Chesley Neil Moses, Isidore Oblo, Raymond Oppenheimer, Sanford Plepler, Paul Popper, Abraham Prosha, Leonard Reed, Louis Schlanger, Sylvia Schoenwalter, Robert M. Shapiro, Norma Kassler Shapiro, Saul Sherman, Louis Leon Simons, Irving N. Slack, Arthur Stamler, Robert K. Stein, Joanne Swan, Harry Sweetbaum, Howard Udoff, Donald Weinberg, Florette Schloss-Weil, and Lawrence Williams. We rise as a congregational family for the words of Mourner's Kaddish.
Hit Gadol V'Yit Kadash Shmei Rabbah Be'alma Divrach Rute V'Yamlich Malchute B'Chaychon U'Vyomechon U'Chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala V'Zman Kariv V'Imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Barach Le'olam L'Olmei Almaya Yit Barach V'Yishtabach V'Yitpa'ar V'Yitroman V'Yitnaseh V'yit hadar, v'yit halev, v'yit halach, shmei dekudashah barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma, v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen.
Jewish tradition teaches us that the Mitzvah of Sadaka accompanies moments of simcha, joy, and festivity. In our most celebratory moments, the act of giving back reminds us that we are a part of something greater than ourselves, that we are a part of a community. With this in mind, each year the confirmation class gives a gift to the larger Temple Bethel community. This year, our class has chosen new candlesticks to be used in the sanctuary on Shabbat and holidays. We hope they will bring light and joy to our community for many years to come.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We just want to share a couple of announcements before we conclude our service. The first is about the next 2 Shabbats in May. Next Friday night, as you heard mentioned earlier, is our Shabbat evening honoring Rabbi class. It is a 6 p.m. service, but you can come early for a pre-neg, which will have some Rabbi class themed food and drink. Following services, there is also a Shabbat dinner. You do need to register for Shabbat dinner. It's helpful if you also register for the service and let us know you're coming so we can make sure we have enough seats. On the 27th, there will not be a Shabbat service in the sanctuary. I'm going to say it again. On the 27th, there will not be a Shabbat service in the sanctuary. We are having Shabbat in the park. There is more information online. We hope you will join us. We'll be there at 5 p.m. with popsicles. You can bring a picnic dinner, and we will have a shortened service in the park at 6:30 that evening. What park? That's a good question, and I was thinking that, but it's not right here. And I don't know Charlotte yet.
Francis Beatty.
Francis Beatty Park.
Francis Beatty. Matthews.
In Matthews. 2 more announcements. We are expanding and changing our Tikkun Olam opportunities, the way that we do social justice and social action here at Temple Bethel. And there is an evening with Rabbi Klass, Rabbi Erdheim, Nicole Sidman, and Andy Harkavy, and fellow congregants to discuss that and learn about it and program and plan for the future. There is a reception, and my notes say it has heavy hors d'oeuvres, so you should register to come at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, May 24th for that discussion. And Shavuot, which was mentioned, we are already ready in our white robes for Shavuot. Saturday, June 4th is Erev Shavuot, and we are having a special program called To the Mountain, a musical Shavuot evening, featuring Rabbi Michael Lapidus and Melvin Kindle Miles. Melvin is the faith leader at the historic Ebenezer Baptist Church, and the 2 of them do a musical program together. It is not to be missed. We hope you will join us. We also hope that you picked up the confirmation statements as you came in. If you didn't, please make sure you got them. They really reflect the richness and diversity of this class, and they worked hard on them. We want to tell the confirmation students, when you get into the Oneg, you will pick up your certificate as well as a gift of the Jewish Study Bible, which you should keep with you because it can be used in college classes. We also want to thank all of the confirmation families for helping us prepare for tonight. You will see much of that in the decor and desserts that you'll enjoy in the Oneg. We ask that you let the confirmation class process out, and then we invite you to join us. And families, we have told them to keep their robes on until you have taken a photo. So I'm going to invite the confirmation class to please rise. And we wish everyone Shabbat Shalom.